Are you an Australian immigrant? Are you planning to move to Australia? And do you want to listen some good news regarding immigration of Australia? This clip is especially for you. After many days, I have 3-4 simultaneously very good news for skilled workers, for students, and the people whose 491 visa applications are in process. What I am going to tell you regarding Australian immigration, there are many positivity shown by Immigration Department and associated companies with the Australian government. All details I will share in this clip. I will share that even your 4-9 visa application is in process till you can work for Australia. What is the new law coming? That if your visa application or work visa application is in process or delayed due to long processing of Australian immigration, if the companies want, they can get your services. Even living in your home country. You are living in home country, and that company which appointed you and you have job offer, legally they can get your services, they can get your business ideas, they can get your skills online as well. Salary will be transferred to Australian bank, and from Australian bank that will be transferred to your home country bank account. You will be saying, so no sir, this is not great news because I am not going to move to Australia because that's your primary objective. But I will say one thing. This is the point by which you can migrate very easily to Australia. The application which is in your process, you must tell Immigration Department through a letter or through an email that my application is in process and now I am serving for this company by living in my home country because I did not get the Australian visa. You will show your evidence of the working, you will show the bank accounts which transferred your salary from Australian bank account to your home country bank account. And the significant point, your company, your employer will definitely also inform Immigration Department that we want indispensable this individual to serve in our company because he is not here, so we are taking his services by living in his home country. So his living in home country providing us job. Therefore, if possible, issue Australian visa instantly. So there are legal favors to your case automatically. In any case, your visa refused, you can fight on such basis that I was serving for that company online. 2-3 huge benefits you will get by working online for that company. The visa which is process of that company. So another point which is I think going to make you happy, new regional Australian skill strategies are going to be announced by Australian Immigration Department in the coming days. But before that, the companies who are giving suggestion to the Australian Immigration Department released precious informations. And these informations are not verbally, not in a written form. The people spoke in national channels and social media of these companies orally in debate, which all favors immigrant clearly, transparently. What is the point I am going to share? The point the companies share that regional Australian skilled work visas or work vacancies are extremely required in 2025, in 2026. The point raised by these companies who are giving suggestion to Australian Immigration Department as well, that if the workers of regional Australia will not be filled up, we will go in backward direction. It's quite alarming, pricking for Australian think tank that if you are working with a less labor force, you will not grow financially. They straightforward related workers with economy of Australia. One point they have raised, I was impressed, and that was enough for me to speak on housing crisis in Australia. Normally, the question which is being raised in Australia, that immigrants should not be here due to housing competition. Australian citizen says they took over houses and we are not living in our own houses. Immigrants are living in our houses. This company, by proof, by evidence, first time told that regional Australia workers did not have housing issue and they require intensive workers. Where housing crisis do not exist, workers must be invited because those areas require workers and they cannot survive without overseas workers. The companies cannot survive without overseas workers. So they resolved the issue of housing crisis. Remember all points together, but one point raised always by this government before election and after election: housing crisis. We are not calling immigration, we are not calling immigrant due to the housing crisis only. They clearly mentioned shared data that only big city, Central Australia, non-regional Australia have the housing problems. They clearly told, we are not talking about Central Australia. We are not talking about invitation of the workers for non-regional Australia. We are talking to invite shortage of regional workers in the regional Australia where there is no housing crisis. So housing crisis claim has been absolutely shunned by this company to Australian immigration. Therefore, 90 to 99% chances you will get many occupations more in regional list this year, which is just upcoming. So this is biggest good news. Another biggest news, the data shared to Australian immigration is astonishing, remarkable. They told that Australian children, citizens, birth rate in 2024, which is calculated now. Normally 2024 data is being researched in 2025. Numbers of children, Australian citizens, were less produced than 2019. So there is no problem of population burst. Still a lot of people required in Australia. This data clarifying that population is not increasing at the level as it was increasing in 2019. So these all are going to favor immigration, and those informations, remember, are very indispensable because these informations taking in mind Australian immigration make new immigration changes or new occupation list of regional Australia and other rules of immigration. Remember, these immigration rules always formed on the basis of the proposals given by such companies to Australian immigration. These all proposal goes in favor of immigrants, in favor of Australian immigration. Another point for the students. Now the students will get the financial benefit from the banks of Australia first time. Still discussions going on. But I think once you are in Australia on student visa, and if this effort of the banks became successful. You don't need to lend your money. You don't need to sell your property. You don't need to sell your house in the home country to get the fee of the next semester. If you are good earner or you are in a good professional course, and the bank think you will be able to stay in Australia for a long time, and the bank think you can recover bank's money, the bank think you are eligible individual, you will be given rent, you will be given loan, and that loan will bear your remaining academic expenses. I don't think this law will pass instantly, but discussion in this era where students are deprived of almost all things and they are giving restrictions on Australian students, and people who are sending their children to Australia, they are switching their destination from the Australia to Canada, they are switching their destination from Australia to UK, to US. They will rethink once again to send their children to Australia. Because when proposals are start in any country, we had seen in the past, such proposal always change into modified laws, and proposal don't go without any objective. There is something. Students will get the financial assistance within Australia. First time Australia looking academic as a holy destination. Remember, normally international education being considered as a source of earning, but apart from source of earning, Australia is thinking to stabilize some genuine, honest students who can serve Australia, who can help Australia, who can help Australian citizens, and who can help themselves as well. And second point, very important, first semester fee, the first fee which you normally paid of annuals, I think annually you are paying from your country, that will not be skipped off in these new proposals. Definitely you must have required all documents, financial documents, which is being assessed by Embassy, Australian Immigration Department, and also you have to submit the fee annually or semester wise to Australian Institute to get the certificate of enrollment. There is no any change in those immigration requirements. Another thing regarding New Zealanders, you have very good news. Now still you can work in defence workforce of Australia. In the last days, Australia says, New Zealand nationals, we are giving you preference. You come to our country, we will give you residence, we will give you passport. The first country in the history, Australia himself offered passport. Come here and collect your passport. Any New Zealand national want to work in Australia, they were compensating and they were giving reward of the Australian passport. Both countries' habitats are closer. Both countries are very closer, border-wise as well. Habitat and companies are working in both countries. That's why Australia, to escalate economy, offered passport to New Zealanders in the last days. But recently, the new development, which was adverse to any neighbor countries. Two neighbor countries always fight. Two neighbor countries fight for economy, fight for place, fight for border place, fight for immigration, fight for illegal immigrants. These both countries have given example to all countries like America.